Hello and welcome to the Pretty Good Gaming Daily Triple. That's your no shit gaming news video. 3 news stories in one video with 0 faff. The last time Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines showed up in a Daily Triple, I said that I doubt this is the end of the game's problems, and unfortunately it looks like I may have been right. After losing 2 key figures just a few months ago, the game has now lost its senior narrative designer, Cara Ellison. According to a statement from publisher Paradox Interactive, we can confirm that Cara Ellison has decided to leave Heartsuit Labs and is no longer working on Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. Cara brought fresh ideas to the project and many of her contributions will be present in the game launching next year. We thank her for her work on Bloodlines 2 and wish her the best in all her future endeavours. The phrasing of many of her contributions will be present in the game is certainly worth pointing out. One would assume that the senior narrative designer would be hugely important in the creation of the game's story. That sort of phrasing suggests that her role may not have been as significant as her title implied, but who knows? There may well be nothing sinister going on, and this may just be another part of the game development process where staff come and go as they are needed. But when you combine this with other recent dismissals, it becomes a bit more dubious. Back in August, the game was delayed to 2021, and shortly after, it was announced that both lead narrative designer Brian Mitsoda and creative director Kai Clooney had left the project. That split was seemingly not as amicable as Paradox Interactive would have you believe. Speaking with Rock Paper Shotgun at the time, Mitsoda explained that he wasn't aware of any of the issues with the project and that his dismissal came as a huge surprise. Having an indefinite delay and losing 2 significant creative figures suggests that the game's story certainly isn't complete and that Ellison's departure may be more complicated than just her finishing her work. Before Paradox made any statement on the matter, it was revealed on Twitter last week that Ellison had joined League of Geeks, the developer best known for the tabletop-style fantasy RPG Armelo. Again, there could well be some sinister conspiracy in there, or it could be that there are some contractual rules about publicly announcing things like that. Another controversy around the game is that all the work of popular game writer Chris Avallone is being removed from the project in response to sexual assault allegations, which once again spells disaster for the game's narrative. There's nothing to confirm or deny that Ellison had a particularly good or bad split, so that's up to your interpretation, but what is clear to me is that something is definitely very wrong at Heartsuit Labs right now in how they're handling the game's narrative. Everything around Ellison's experience personally is up for debate, but I'm seeing a lot of red flags for the game itself. Hopefully these issues aren't as bad as I fear, and if they are, I hope that they can get them sorted quickly and smoothly. What do you think? Is the 3rd senior member of staff leaving a project just a typical part of game development, or are you worried that the game may be undead on arrival?
Some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill.
And next up, while the Foster's Fever has had a serious impact on various industries around the world, the games industry has actually been booming in terms of sales. According to Tiger, or the Independent Game Developers Association, growth of the UK games industry has been higher than ever before between November 2018 and April 2020. In a report published on Monday, Tiger found that the number of staff in game development studios surged 12.2% annually from 14,353 to 16,836 full-time or full-time equivalent staff. The total number of the workforce, including contractors, grew from 16,532 to 18,279. The number of jobs indirectly supported by studios went from 26,241 to 30,781. Total studio population grew from 812 to 1,041. Tax generated went from £747 million to £907 million. Annual investment rose from £818 million to £993 million. And gaming's contribution to the GDP, or gross domestic product, of the UK went from 1.8 billion to 2.2 billion. The report also notes that daily PC gaming between January and May 2020 rose by 46% over the previous year, and daily mobile gaming rose by 17%. Basically, gaming in the UK is growing by virtually every conceivable metric, which is a great sign. Tiger's CEO, Dr. Richard Wilson, explained that the driving forces behind this growth are 3 key things. Firstly, the UK is one of the finest games development centres globally, with outstanding small, medium, and large studios creating content that sell all over the world. Secondly, the global market for video games is growing. There is strong consumer demand for mobile, PC, and console games, which in turn is helping to drive growth in the UK video game sector. And thirdly, video games tax relief, VGTR, is enabling our sector to grow strongly. Video games tax relief basically means that some of the production costs of making games are reimbursed by the government. One of Dr. Wilson's recommendations is that this tax relief continues and grows. We should retain and enhance video games tax relief to encourage investment into the sector. That really shouldn't be a surprise that a gaming governing body is looking to pay less tax and receive more relief, but when companies like Take-Two are receiving tax relief while simultaneously paying 0 corporate tax in the UK, maybe it's better to clamp down on those abusing the system first.
Was all this legal? Absolutely f***ing not.
However, the reason for enhancing video games tax relief is to cover the financial difficulties of game development, especially when considering that 73% of UK developers are micro studios, meaning that they have 4 or fewer members of full-time staff. 40% of studios that have existed over the past 10 years have been shut down, which is a huge number. It's nice to see stories like this where gaming is exploding and getting bigger and bigger, but there are so many studios that are gone in the blink of an eye or face mass waves of layoffs in the wake of executive bonuses. If game development could be made more financially secure without letting those massive corporations get away with millions of unpaid tax, then the industry will be even better. Based on these figures given by Tiger, now is better time than ever to get into the UK game development scene. And finally, just a quick one to finish up. Earlier this week I reported on the story that 2K is now running ads in NBA 2K21. 2K Games has now made an official statement on Twitter, and apparently this whole thing was just an accident. The statement reads, "As many are aware, in recent years ads have been integrated into 2K TV segments. Yesterday's 2K TV ad placement impacted our players' experience in a way we didn't intend, as these ads are not meant to run as part of the pre-game introduction. This will be fixed in future updates. Thanks for your continued feedback." Okay, look, we all know accidents happen. You forget your keys, you drop your phone, I get conceived, but obviously this is all total bollocks. In fact, they've not even apologized for it. Not once do they actually say sorry for this supposed mistake. The ads impacted the player experience in a way they didn't intend. So the ads were meant to be there, but you weren't meant to get upset by it. See, it's your fault. If the ads aren't meant to run as part of the pre-game introduction, then why did they? Someone has coded the game to make that happen. I like to think that that person did it very reluctantly with a corporate exec breathing over their shoulder, but it still happened nonetheless. And if the ads weren't meant to appear there, then where are they meant to show up? I'm so glad I'm not a basketball fan, because 2K are playing everyone who buys this shit. They know exactly what they're doing. This was no accident.
There are no accidents.
And that's it for today. If you like this no shit format, go ahead and give the video a like to give it a boost, hit subscribe and the bell to stay notified about all future installments. Toss a coin to your YouTuber over at patreon.com/prettygoodgaming. I've been Henry Cooper. That's all for today. Bye for now.